Have you ever found yourself doing something that completely goes against what you believe? Maybe you care about being healthy, but just couldn't resist that second slice of cake. Or perhaps you value honesty, but told a little lie to avoid trouble. If you've ever felt that uncomfortable tension between what you believe and what you do, then you've experienced cognitive dissonance. In today's video, we're going to explore what cognitive dissonance is, why it makes us feel uneasy, and how we try to resolve it, even if it means bending reality a little. Let's dive into the fascinating world of our inner conflicts. At its core, cognitive dissonance is the mental discomfort we feel when we hold two or more contradictory beliefs, values, or behaviors. It's that uneasy feeling you get when your actions don't align with your thoughts or when you're faced with conflicting ideas that challenge your core beliefs. For example, let's say you believe that exercise is essential for good health, but you've been skipping the gym for weeks. This inconsistency between your belief and your behavior creates dissonance, a kind of internal friction that makes you uncomfortable. The bigger the gap between what you believe and what you do, the stronger the discomfort. Cognitive dissonance can affect us in all areas of life, from the personal to the professional. It's not just limited to big, life-changing decisions. It can show up in everyday situations too. Here are some common ways it impacts our thoughts and actions. Health choices. Let's say you're someone who believes strongly in living a healthy lifestyle. You know smoking is bad for your health, yet you continue to smoke. This creates dissonance between your belief, smoking is harmful, and your behavior, continuing to smoke. The discomfort that arises from this conflict might push you to either quit smoking or justify your habit. It helps me relieve stress, so it's not that bad. Moral dilemmas. Cognitive dissonance often shows up when we face moral conflicts. Imagine you value honesty, but you tell a white lie to avoid hurting someone's feelings. Even though it's a small lie, it still clashes with your value of honesty, causing discomfort. To reduce this uneasiness, you might tell yourself, "It's just a harmless lie," or "I didn't want to make them feel bad," allowing you to resolve the dissonance. Purchasing decisions. Ever experience buyer's remorse? That's cognitive dissonance at play. Suppose you splurge on an expensive item you can't really afford. Afterward, the clash between your financial goals and your impulsive purchase creates dissonance. To reduce this discomfort, you might convince yourself that the item was a necessary buy or focus on how much joy it brings, even if deep down you know it wasn't the best decision. Humans don't like feeling uncomfortable, so when cognitive dissonance occurs, our brains naturally try to reduce the tension. There are a few ways we might do this. Change our behavior. The most straightforward way to reduce dissonance is by changing our behavior to align with our beliefs. For example, if you believe in healthy living but haven't been exercising, you might decide to start going to the gym to close the gap between your actions and beliefs. Sometimes, instead of changing our behavior, we adjust our beliefs to fit what we're doing. In the case of smoking, instead of quitting, a person might downplay the risks. It's not as bad as people say. Or focus on the perceived benefits. It helps me relax. Justify our behavior. One of the most common ways to resolve dissonance is by justifying our actions. For instance, if you splurge on an expensive item, you might convince yourself that you deserve it because you've been working hard, or tell yourself, "I'll make up for it later." Justifying our actions allows us to reduce the tension without having to make any real changes. Ignore the conflict. Sometimes, people try to simply avoid thinking about the conflict altogether. By ignoring or avoiding the issue, they can temporarily escape the discomfort. However, this approach usually doesn't solve the problem in the long run, and the dissonance may resurface later. Famous study, one of the most well-known studies on cognitive dissonance, was conducted by psychologist Leon Festinger, the founder of this theory. In the 1950s, Festinger designed an experiment to see how people would resolve cognitive dissonance when faced with conflicting actions and beliefs. In the study, participants were asked to perform a boring task and then lie to the next participant by telling them it was interesting. Half of the participants were paid $20 to lie, and the other half were paid just $1. Afterward, those who were paid $1 reported that they genuinely enjoyed the task more than those who were paid $20. Why? Because those paid $1 experienced more cognitive dissonance. They didn't have enough external justification, the money, to lie. So to resolve the dissonance, they convinced themselves that the task wasn't so bad after all. On the other hand, those paid $20 had plenty of external justification for lying, so they didn't feel the need to change their attitude about the task. Cognitive dissonance is more than just an interesting psychological theory. It has real-world implications for how we live, make decisions, and justify our actions. Here are a few reasons why understanding cognitive dissonance is important. It shapes our decisions. Cognitive dissonance influences many of the choices we make, from everyday decisions like what to buy to more significant life choices like career moves or relationships. Understanding how dissonance works can help us make more conscious decisions and recognize when we're justifying actions that don't align with our values. It helps us understand human behavior. Recognizing cognitive dissonance can help us understand why people sometimes act in ways that seem illogical or contradictory. Whether it's a friend who won't quit smoking despite knowing the health risks or someone justifying a questionable purchase, cognitive dissonance can explain the mental gymnastics people perform to resolve inner conflicts. It can lead to personal growth. By confronting cognitive dissonance head-on, we can grow as individuals. Instead of rationalizing or ignoring the discomfort, we can use it as an opportunity for self-reflection and change. For example, if you value honesty but catch yourself telling white lies, you can work on becoming more truthful in your interactions. Cognitive dissonance shows up in countless everyday situations, often without us even realizing it. Here are a few real-world examples where cognitive dissonance is at play. You care about protecting the environment, but still drive a gas-guzzling car. To reduce the dissonance, you might justify it by saying, "I'll switch to an electric car one day," or "It's too expensive to buy a new car right now." You believe in eating healthy, but find yourself snacking on junk food. To resolve the dissonance, you might convince yourself that you'll start eating better tomorrow, or that a little treat now and then isn't so bad. You value spending time with your family, but you often work late into the night. The dissonance between your values and your actions might lead you to justify the long hours by telling yourself, "I'm doing this for my family," even though it's taking time away from them. So, what can you do when cognitive dissonance strikes? Here are a few tips to handle the discomfort in a healthy way. Acknowledge the conflict. The first step is to recognize when cognitive dissonance is happening. Be honest with yourself about the contradictions between your beliefs and actions. Once you're aware of the conflict, you can start working toward resolving it. Reflect on your values. Ask yourself what truly matters to you. Are your actions in line with your core values? If not, consider whether it's worth changing your behavior or beliefs to create more harmony in your life. Make a plan for change. If you decide to change your behavior, create a plan for how to do so. For example, if you want to quit smoking or start exercising regularly, set small, achievable goals that will help you bridge the gap between your actions and beliefs. Be kind to yourself. Cognitive dissonance is a natural part of life, and no one is perfect. Instead of beating yourself up over conflicting beliefs or actions, use dissonance as an opportunity for growth and learning. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes, as long as you're willing to learn from them. Cognitive dissonance is a powerful force that shapes our thoughts, behaviors, and decisions. Whether it's the inner conflict we feel when our actions don't align with our beliefs or the mental tricks we use to justify our choices, cognitive dissonance plays a key role in how we navigate life's contradictions. Understanding cognitive dissonance not only helps us better understand ourselves, but also offers insights into the behavior of those around us. So, the next time you catch yourself in a moment of discomfort, remember, that uneasy feeling is a sign that something deeper is going on. Use it as a chance to reflect, grow, and bring your actions more in line with your values.